Hello, everyone, and welcome to Confessions of a Reluctant Entrepreneur. How are you today? What's happening? It's Friday! Yay! But to be honest, one of the things that I love about my business and working from home and the lifestyle that I've built is that I love weekdays just as much as I love weekends. It's a good thing. So if you're working towards this goal, I highly recommend it. Be location independent. It's awesome. Okay, so today I wanted to talk about an issue I really struggled with in the beginning of my business and still really struggle with today. It is my need to be a good student. I always want the teachers to like me. And in the same way, I need to be a good girlfriend, a good partner, a good daughter, a good granddaughter, a good friend. I want to do the right thing and I want to please people. The problem is that this can really hurt my bottom line, especially in business. So, and one of the ways that it affected me is that I always wanted to say yes to people. So I don't know if you've ever had this experience. Let me just go back a little bit with a teacher that you really, really liked, you really respected. I mean, all through growing up or in university, especially, there were some teachers, especially in my master's degree, that I admired so much. And so I so wanted their approval. And in particular, I remember one case where I had won an award, and it was a hard award to get, but I really didn't think about it because I applied for it and I got it. And it was $3,000, which was amazing. And it really helped out my second year. And I got it because my grades were really good and I was a good writer. But this teacher that I really loved, and I just thought she was so great and I wanted to be so much like her, invited me to come talk to the first years about applying for awards and why they should do it. And so she asked me, so Andrea, what did you do? And I just said, oh, it's really easy. All you got to do is just apply. You'll get it. It's fine. You'll just totally get it. And the look of disappointment across this woman's face, I was like, oh no, I said the wrong thing. And I really had this moment of like, I disappointed her because she looked at me, she scolded me a little bit and said, no, it's actually not that easy, but yes, do apply, because if you don't apply, you can't get it. And so I go back to that example because often I do the same when it comes to my work with my clients. I don't want to disappoint them. And it brings me back to that feeling of like, being punched in the gut because I did something wrong or I said something wrong and I didn't do it right. So what that does, though, is that I often say yes to tasks, work, deadlines that I don't really want. So in the last year, I've pivoted in my business out of copywriting and into just focusing on ghostwriting books rather than articles. I like it more, and I like having a bigger project rather than kind of working towards all these little things. But most recently I had a client say, I really want to get like this done and this done, and can I have some help with this? And not wanting to disappoint, I hop in and say, okay, sure, no problem. I'll just jump in and do this thing for you. And I also had this happen with one of my very first clients when I started, and I always call it, oh no, this client is calling, it's going to derail my day. And so I say yes to please the client to get these things done really, really quickly. But the problem is that I've had a plan for how I'm going to work in the day. And if I stop, it's fine. It's good. I'm not saying don't be flexible. Everybody's business is different. But when you're working towards a larger goal, a bigger project, that dedicated 3 to 4 hours of just straight writing to try and get a chapter out is so important because your train of thought doesn't always get going right away. So I have learned that in order to do well in my business, I have to stop trying to be the good student, or, the good whatever. I need to really set some boundaries in my work if I want to succeed. And those boundaries for me now, I know copywriters, it's different. There are I think there are emergencies. There are things that you have to do to get done quickly. For your clients, that's a totally different thing. But for me, working on the larger projects, I want to really just set my boundaries in what I can do for people, because I'll have a more successful flow of a work day. And for me, hitting those deadlines is really, really important. I hate messaging a client and saying, I know I said I was going to get this to you today, but now I can't. And so it really hurts not only just me, but the other clients that say that sort of rush work comes in and takes over, because I set up a plan for the week as to what I can get done. Often I think I can get done more than I can actually get done, but I'm probably planning a work week of like 90 hours. So anyhow, it comes back to, I was speaking in a live last week about boundaries and setting up your non-negotiables. And so I have 3 non-negotiables now. And the first one is that people have to be able to pay a deposit. The second one is they have to be able to pay my fees. And the third one is they need to be able to offer losing my words. It needs to be done within a reasonable time frame. And if they can't offer a reasonable time frame because they need it quickly, then they need to be able to pay a rush fee. So I am working at upholding those 3 non-negotiables, and I see that Eagle Eye is watching, and he might be laughing a little on the inside because he's like, really? Are you doing that? Are you sure? So I'm definitely trying to stick to that. Often, if people come to me and they're very harried and freaking out and they need something, I'll stop and help them. But I think that's not necessarily a good student thing. That's also just me being me. But okay, lesson number 2. For me, the idea of being good is also attached to guilt. And so for me, I wrote for point number 2, guilt, and more guilt. And the thing about guilt is that it's not very productive. So if you're saying yes to do something out of guilt, which is just not very good. I don't know why I connect this to the good student idea. I think it's, again, it goes to wanting to please people. And so, but the problem is that guilt will take you down, it'll hold you down, and it'll keep you there. There's nothing useful about it. So if you're making a choice to get something done for guilt, do not do it. It is the worst decision you will ever make. Don't do it. And I'm still working on that. And that's an ongoing process. So yeah, those are the two main things about being a good student or a good daughter or a good girlfriend or a good friend. Do to hold your business back. Did that make sense? Maybe it made sense. I'm not sure. Yeah. Anyway, stick to your boundaries. Know your boundaries, stick to your boundaries. And if you don't know your boundaries, that's okay. They can change. They grow and they change and they shift as your business grows and changes and shifts. So yeah, that was my rambling Friday Live today. And oh no, I've only made it to 8 minutes and 21 seconds. I'm going to keep going for another minute and a half. And I'm going to tell you, just in case you don't know me, a little bit about what I do. I am a ghostwriter and an author. My company is called Sadie Tells Stories. Why Sadie? Well, I wrote a book when I first started my business. It's what my business is based on. And it's called Sadie, a story about a girl who just didn't know. And it followed her exploration of her life and what she wanted to do. And at the end of the day, she came to a realization. She wanted to do exactly what she was doing, which was writing. And the super talented and amazing Eagle Eye, aka Kirk Rowland, aka Tyson Draws Stuff, did all the drawing for that book. And we actually haven't published that book yet. A friend reminded us that we do need to publish that book. We should do that. We should publish that book. Mental note, publishing book. Anyhow, so that's where Sadie came from. And I started off copywriting, but now I'm fully ghostwriting. And so I ghostwrite books for people who don't want to write the book themselves. It is very much a collaborative process, but there are a few different ways that we can work together. The first one is that I can fully write your book for you. Obviously based on a series of interviews, it's all your ideas, it's your book, and I just write it. And then you come in and edit it to make it fit perfectly. to make it your book. And the second way is more of a co-write situation where maybe you start off doing some of the writing. It depends. This always works a little bit differently. And I work with the client so that it's a good flow and we're a good team together. Again, in that situation, I'm still a ghost. My name doesn't go on the book. It's all you. And the third way is the Big Blue Sky Academy. It's awesome. I created the Big Blue Sky Academy for people who have big ideas and want to do big, awesome things. And the Big Blue Sky Academy is offering its very first book workshop starting January, and it's 3 months long. Each week we will have one workshop at 45 minutes to an hour, 4 people workshop. In the workshop, you'll get to talk about your idea, your struggles in writing. We'll have one class a week, and then you'll have your homework for that week, which is writing a whole chapter. So by the end of it, you'll have a full book to move forward with. All right, that's it. That's me. Thanks for hanging out and watching on this awesome Friday. I will see you on Tuesday morning, same time, same place, new lesson. I'll see you then. Have a great weekend.